Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my first Jessica Jones episode video. Just because of the way everything's dropping, these videos are going to work a little bit different, but this is going to be all about episodes 1 through 4. Just careful for spoilers if you haven't started watching Jessica Jones yet, and there really is no right way to watch it. Because it's Netflix, they drop it all at once, you can totally do that. Raise your hand if you actually stayed up all night to finish every single episode. Nobody that I've seen on Twitter or Facebook has made it past like episode 10 yet, so most people will watch like a block of episodes, take a break, then come back later. But I'll start off with a really interesting fact about the series itself, just like the actual production of it. The showrunner Melissa Rosenberg said that originally they were selling the project to ABC, and I think we're all really glad that that didn't end up happening, because if they had done this series for ABC, it would not be nearly as cool as it is now. They would have had to tone all the cool stuff down. It would have been way less dark, way less gritty, way more formulaic. But when it was still at ABC, the Patsy Walker character was intended to be Carol Danvers. That's right, Captain Marvel. But what happened is this was a long time ago, way before Avengers Age of Ultron went down. And if you remember, she was originally supposed to be in Avengers Age of Ultron 2, Captain Marvel. But plans changed, the Jessica Jones TV show went to Netflix, Marvel Studios ended up changing their movie plans, and Captain Marvel got her own movie, so they had to take her out of the Netflix series and put in the Patsy Walker Hellcat character. And if you're not familiar, Patsy Walker is Hellcat from the comics. She does have special powers that I'll talk about as they're talking about all the characters. But as much as there are a bunch of references to the comic books in this Jessica Jones TV series, it's not as connected to the MCU as it used to be. When it was ABC, the party line was just like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., everything is connected. The Netflix shows are still technically connected because they reference a lot of things that happen in the movies, but they don't weave in with the plot quite as much. Like don't expect a whole bunch of Civil War setup in this. I'll say my initial reaction to the series is that it is a better character-based TV show than anything else Marvel has done, or really anything else that's on TV right now. Daredevil is an amazing TV show. It's also better than most TV shows in existence, but it's more of a traditional crime drama. Jessica Jones is more of a character study. Like, you're just drilling deep into everyone's psyche, why everyone is doing what they're doing. Daredevil does take the time to get into the characters' heads, but not nearly as much as Jessica Jones. So I feel like people that will walk away liking Daredevil more than Jessica Jones are just a fan of more traditional plot-based TV shows than they are of like intense character study. Like, one of the big scenes that everyone's talking about is when Jessica Jones and Luke Cage have super-powered sex. Like, there's a couple different times they have sex. The first time they have sex is super awkward because they don't know each other has powers. Jessica's like, it's okay, I'm not fragile, I'm not gonna break, because she is super tough. Luke Cage, not knowing that she has superpowers, is like, no, you will definitely break, I need to slow down. But the fact that they're having sex isn't that special. Characters on a lot of TV shows have sex. It's the way Jessica Jones portrays its sex scenes. It's super intense and super personal. And because the Jessica character hasn't really come out of her shell as of the first couple of episodes, she can't handle the intensity. So that's why when she's staring at Luke Cage, she gets that weird look on her face and she has to turn around. She can't look him in the eye when they're having sex. Like, it's just too personal for her. Until we get to episode 3, when she starts to come out of her shell a little bit, they finally come clean about their powers, their backstories, and it becomes a much more traditional, comfortable sex scene, despite the comedy of them breaking everything with their super sex. Speaking of comedy, I think my favorite, funniest moment, in the first 4 episodes at least, are when Jessica finally gets so pissed with her upstairs neighbors making noise that she bangs on the door and finds out that they're twins, and it turns into this weird Game of Thrones twincest joke. I don't give a bag of dicks what kind of kinky shit you're into, as long as you do it quietly. Favorite line so far in the series. Her upstairs neighbors are actually a good barometer for what's going on inside her head. She starts out, she can't handle people, she's in super loner mode, she's like, I can't be around people, I'm a danger to people, and people are a danger to me. Like, I don't know what's gonna be around the next corner, so she just isolates herself. But finally, because of this Hope case and Kilgrave coming back, she gets sick of everything, she's like, fine, I'm gonna do something about it. So that's kind of reflected in the way she treats her upstairs neighbors. And then eventually she gets a little more comfortable with their weirdness, even though she still calls them out on it. Like when the dude tells her that they have tin foil on all their windows and she's like, wait a minute, I don't want to know. I don't want to know why. But the interesting thing about the Jessica Jones character, yes, it's like an intense character study for her, but the same issues that Jessica Jones is dealing with, all the other characters are dealing with them too, especially her friend Patsy Walker, who you find out with some hilarity is turning herself into a ninja slowly. Like, she feels completely powerless, like, I can't help, I don't have special powers. So she's also kind of locking herself away in her special fortress from the world, the same way Jessica Jones does. But let's talk about some of the big Easter eggs. The earliest one is actually the opening scene, where she talks about catching people boning in alleys. She gives the evidence to her client, he gets all pissed, and she smashes him through the window. That's an actual line in a panel right out of her Alias comic. But really the biggest Easter eggs are the characters that they pull from the comics. Jaren Hogarth here, who might end up turning into something of a villain at a certain point. Crazy intense shark lawyer, who seems like Jessica's friend, or at least gives her jobs. This is a gender-bent version of Jaren Hogarth from the comics. In the comics, it's a male character. He works for Rand Meacham. He's also a lawyer, but Rand Meacham is Danny Rand's family's company. It's like their version of Wayne Enterprises, so that's the connection to Iron Fist, the Jaren Hogarth character. There is a lot of rumors going around about the Iron Fist Netflix series. Maybe it's happening, maybe they're doing something different with it. Joe Quesada actually just said that they are working on an Iron Fist Netflix series, so I would take him at his word. But the interesting thing about Jaren Hogarth is that they turned it into a much bigger character. Like, she has her own subplot that's going on with her wife here, and the person she's married to is Calamity Jane from Deadwood, which I think is just awesome. But there's this whole thing with her cheating, getting divorced from her, and then she finds out about Kilgrave, and she's like, wow, the things that we could do if we could make him work for us. And of course, when Jessica hears her wondering about that, she's just like, WTF, this person is a psychopath. So I'm kind of wondering if the Jaren Hogarth character is going to try and save Kilgrave from Jessica Jones so that she can use him for her legal practice, because she was talking about this big $50 million case. So just put a tab in that. Like, Jaren Hogarth might wind up being one of the villains of the series, even though she starts out seeming like a friend. Jessica really needs to find some new attorneys, if only there were some avocado bros that could help her out. But the second big character, obviously the Patsy Walker Hellcat character. The really interesting thing about the way they tease characters out is how they explain their backstories. Like, Jessica throws Patsy's mother in her face and she's like, low blow, Jess, but you don't find out about her mother till many episodes later. So they'll tease backstory with a turn of phrase and then actually explain it in a later episode. So I love the way they're seeding stories out. It's really like one story told over 13 hours instead of a traditional TV show where you have a different story every single week. One of my favorite moments is when Patsy Walker accidentally takes down that fan and then he says, I really miss the red hair. That's just a reference to her comic book character. In the comics, Patsy Walker, when she does have her Hellcat powers, has red hair. Let's talk about Luke Cage. He's obviously going to be getting his own TV series, and Mike Coulter actually did say that thematically, stylistically, the Luke Cage TV show will look way different from Jessica Jones. But when Luke Cage is telling Jessica Jones about his origins, he says experiment. He was framed for drug possession, thrown in prison. While in prison, he was allowed to participate in the said experiment, and it was a modified version of the Captain America Super Soldier program. So he was bombarded with this organic electrical field, and that's how he got his super strength and his super tough skin. It's a little more complicated than that. He was actually undergoing the super soldier treatment, and another character came in and sabotaged the controls, and that led to the accident that gave him his powers. So where we're at in the timeline, that has already happened, and Luke Cage is just trying to hide out. Like, he's like, I don't need the police up in my business. You see all this paranoia about people that are gifted. They use the term gifted, but really they're talking about anybody with powers. That also includes Inhumans. So like when Jessica is serving papers to that douchebag character and she's like, I have laser eyes. Obviously a very timely Superman reference, but you get the sense that this exists inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They also reference the alien attack, but I haven't heard any reference to Terrigen Mist or fish oil pills yet. Now, the girl that Luke Cage has a picture of in his bathroom is his ex-wife. That's Reva Connors from the comics. The reason Jessica is so sad is because it's the same girl that Kilgrave had her kill. We don't know exactly why, but Reva Connors was Luke Cage's girlfriend in the comics before he became Power Man. Now, in the TV show, obviously, she runs afoul of Kilgrave, but in the comic books, she runs afoul of Diamondback, which is a character that's going to be in the Luke Cage TV series. But if there was any confusion, like, this woman is not Misty Knight. Misty Knight is actually going to be a new character in the Luke Cage TV series, so we'll see her. But you can see why they made this change. They want to give Jessica some history with Luke Cage that did not previously exist in the comic books. But if you were confused about why Jessica Jones was initially investigating Luke Cage, she lies and says that she was on a case trying to catch him boning with a married woman. But then the woman comes back later and is like, I don't know why you were investigating him and taking pictures. Are you a stalker? Because my husband did not hire you. She was investigating Luke Cage because she knows that he is connected to the woman that she is haunted by, the woman that she killed. Moving on to David Tennant's Kilgrave, one of the best Marvel villains so far, and we've only seen a little bit of him. He gets the exact same type of introduction that Kingpin does during the Daredevil series. Like, you see the back of their head first, you hear them speak, but you don't see their face till later. Making the little girl go to the bathroom in the closet, so terrible, but you're just like, oh man, this is gonna be so amazing and so awful. But the first couple of episodes is all about Jessica realizing that he's still alive. She thinks that she left him for dead in the same accident where she killed Luke Cage's ex-wife. But she slowly tracks him down with a big Grey's Anatomy Easter egg, which I thought was hilarious. What hospital are you from? Seattle Grace? Oh, you mean like the one on TV? So we learned some really interesting stuff about him. He is, just as psychologically damaged as Jessica or any of the other characters. He's completely obsessed with Jessica, despite the fact, like, Jaren Hogarth is like, oh, think of the power that this man has. But he uses his powers for such mundane things. Like, he just wants to get dinner. He just wants to get Jessica back. What's he gonna do with her? Really small, trivial stuff. Kilgrave, if he wanted, could be way more powerful. But because he has so many psychological problems, he's always gonna be tied up doing bullshit small stuff. So we learn about his flaws, but I think one of the most interesting lines about him in the first couple of episodes, the doctor has that line where he's like, I told him you could survive just fine with one kidney, but no, he wanted to be made whole. And how completely messed up was it when she went to visit the person on the dialysis machine, the person who helped Kilgrave escape his accident, and he writes, kill me, on that pad of paper, and she's just like, I can't. You just wind up staring at your TV going, oh my God. But here's my big questions for you guys. Let me know in the comments, what is your favorite funny moment so far? And what is your favorite most messed up moment so far? So what I'm gonna do for my next Jessica Jones video is I'll do episodes 5 through 8. So I'll just do like blocks of 4 episodes. I'll try to do a video every day, but I might end up having to skip Sunday. There's also a new Flash Arrow crossover extended trailer with a bunch of new footage of Hawkgirl, Hawkman, so I'll do a video for that later tonight. So be sure to subscribe to get everything, and I will be live tweeting some of the episodes. I'll try to be as non-spoilery as possible, but if you don't know where my Twitter and Facebook are, there are links in the description. While you guys wait for everything to post, you can click here for my Jessica Jones playlist. It's where I'm adding all my new Jessica Jones videos. And you can click here for the Flash Arrow crossover trailer. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.